Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Eva and today we are talking about the Makeup Super Bowl, aka the Sephora 2023 VIB sale. Now, this sale starts on my birthday, October 27th, for Rouge members, and then it tiers out access and discount based on what level you are within the Sephora program. I'll have everything like written out down below, but if you're watching this video, you probably already know the details. Now, I've been prepping for this video for days now because I have so many favorite products and so many products I want to talk about, and I needed to narrow it down. That being said, I still have around 65 products that I am going to be talking about, so this video is going to be extremely long. I will timestamp everything down below, so if there are certain makeup categories that you're interested in, you can skip to those. I also want to mention that what I did is I'm really prioritizing like which of my favorite products are also available in holiday sets, because the timing of the Sephora sale lends itself to really good saving opportunities because we already have a lot of great holiday sets that come out, and then on top of that you're getting, the 15% off depending on your tier. So some products that I absolutely love, I ended up eliminating from this because they either like go on sale for a better price on their website or weren't in a set. So if I'm not including a product in this video that you've seen me mention before as being one of my favorites, that is the reason why. It doesn't mean I don't love it and I don't recommend it, but it's not something I think you should really prioritize picking up. Another thing to mention is obviously luxury beauty. Like, this is the time to buy, excuse me, as my voice cracks, this is the time to buy luxury beauty at Sephora, except for a couple of brands, which throughout the video, you'll see me rambling and kind of inserting myself and mentioning, hey, I really love this product. I am going to talk about it, but I know for a fact there will be a better deal on their site for Black Friday, because I essentially have every sale memorized from like the history of sales. So that being said, if all of that sounds of interest to you, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up, keep watching, and more importantly, if you are not already, please subscribe to my channel. I do also want to mention that everything I'm going to be talking about will be linked down below. And then after the video, if I'm editing and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot to mention this, I will go ahead and link it below. I'll have a section called like items I forgot to mention. And if you want to support my channel, or if you're already shopping the Sephora sale as is, I would really appreciate you considering shopping my links, because that is the way to support my channel, because I'm a tiny channel and I'm not yet monetized by YouTube. Okay, now let's go ahead and get into it. The way I am going to go about this video is I'm going to be doing my makeup as I go. You'll notice I am barefaced right now, and some of these products I wanted to demo, so it'll be a mixture of demos, me holding up the products, and then if I couldn't find the product or just didn't want to tear my entire house apart, I'll just insert a image on the screen of the item. I don't have a ton of skincare products to talk about, mainly because I feel like a lot of skincare brands I use are not at Sephora, or the particular items like Paula's Choice are not available at Sephora. But that being said, I do have 3 really good skincare items I want to talk about. The first one is one that I repurchase all the time. It is the Youth to the People Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate Activated Mist. So this is a toner that you use right after you have washed your face. It is super hydrating, but the mister is really nice, and it comes in a really nice glass bottle. I love the mister so much that I actually refill this bottle with like a different toner when I finish it. Something to note is that Youth to the People does do really good sales on their own site. They typically will do a like 25% to 30% off sale around Black Friday. So you can always hold off on this and wait for Black Friday to pick it up. If I could recommend only 3 items for you to pick up during the sale, this would be one of those items. This is the Paula's Choice Pro Collagen Multi-Peptide Booster. I got a sample of this and within days noticed a remarkable difference in the appearance of the fine lines on my forehead. This is the one product I would say that for me, I actually notice a difference when I use it. So this is a peptide complex that you apply to your face and neck once or twice a day. I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not an esthetician, but this product is pretty magical. It's not going to erase all of your fine lines. The only thing that will do that is like Botox, but this is a skincare product that I will continue to always repurchase after discovering it 2 months ago. Now, during the Sephora sale, there is a great set. I'm going to insert it on the screen where you get this product and then the Paula's Choice, a miniature Paula's Choice BHA, which is like another staple in my skincare collection, and you get both of those for the price of just this product. The last skincare product I want to touch on is a set. I believe this is the identical set to what's on sale during the Sephora sale, but this is the Skin Fix Your Barrier Protectors set. So in this, you get their triple lipid peptide cream, which is, I purchased this set last year and I still haven't used it because I had another one of their face creams, but I should probably use it soon before it expires. But what you get is you get their face cream, you get a refill, and then you also get a miniature of their hand cream, which I really, really like. So if you're in the market for a new moisturizer, this set is fantastic. It's a great value. And I would say it's like the closest thing, one of the closest things I found at Sephora to the Drunk Elephant Retro Lala cream. It's a great, I wouldn't say it's like a dupe because it doesn't have identical ingredients, but it's really comparable and much better price for what you're getting in this set. For primers, I honestly this past year have not been using a lot of primers. It's mainly just because of laziness, but what I do like is I do like to add extra glow to my skin before I apply my makeup. And what I like to use are the Say Super Glowy Gels. Now, there are two different shades. There is Star Glow, which is what I'm going to apply today, and then there is Sun Glow, which is a deeper version of that. For Sun Glow, if I'm going to use that, I mix them together. I'll actually do that right now. And these are super glowy, very comfortable on the skin, and they just add a nice bit of glow. They're not going to like, cover pores or anything like that. They're mainly going to just add a nice glow to your skin. And these come in a really great set. I will insert on the screen where you get both of these guys for, I want to say like $24. So it's a great way to try out the product. It's a pretty good value. And if you are like me and you like having the option of a darker shade for when you want to look a little bit tanner, it's a great set to pick up. Another product I want to talk about, it's like more of a hybrid between skincare and like primers and makeup, is the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Drops. I have been using these for years, way before Miss Alex Earl broke the internet and made these go viral and sell out everywhere. And what these are, they are a bronze drop that you can add in to your moisturizer to add a very nice subtle glow to the skin. So I really, really like these. You do have to like do a good job of shaking them before you use it, but these are great, especially if you are super pale like me and you want to look a little bit more alive. These are great to add to your moisturizer. Let's talk about foundation. I'm gonna clip my bangs back. The first foundation I'm gonna talk about, and the one I'm gonna apply today, is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. Now, right off the bat, I wanna tell you that these shade names are so confusing. Like, if I had purchased this online, there is no way I would have gotten the correct shade. If I recall correctly, I want to say that the numbering system is similar to MAC, where like cool is warm and warm is like cool. It's confusing. So go in person to get color matched for sure. And the shade I picked up when I bought this when it first came out, is Fair Neutral. Hopefully this is my correct shade still. Sometimes I use fake tanner on my face and then I go and I buy a foundation and it doesn't match because I use the fake tanner. So we'll see. And I'm going to apply it using another recommendation. And this is one that I found out about through State of Kate here on YouTube. And this is the Makeup Forever 109 brush. This is a really, really great foundation brush that does a good job of really minimizing the amount of streak that you get on your face when applying a foundation. So this shade looks like it's a little light for me after applying Sun Glow. Even after using an amazing brush like this, I still like to go in with a dampened beauty sponge to blend everything together. I zoomed you in so you can see the finished look after blending it out. One of the things I really love about this foundation is how breathable and natural it is. It does not feel like you are wearing absolutely anything. I truly don't feel like I'm wearing makeup. I feel like I'm wearing skincare on my face, and my skin still looks like skin. It does a good job of, you know, blurring some imperfections, but looking in the mirror down here, it does not look like I am wearing foundation. I have some more foundations to recommend and to talk about. Keep in mind, I have dry skin, so these are all going to be recommendations for people with dry skin. If you have oily skin, I don't know how these will wear on you, so want to be very upfront about that. So the first one I want to talk about is the Fenty Beauty, what is this called? The Easy Drop Blur Smooth Tint Stick. Now, I think this is one of the most underrated product releases of the year. I've not heard that many people talk about it, and it is an incredible stick foundation. It really blurs the pores. For me, the color match is really great. I'm the shade 2. I did do a video on this, so I will insert the link in the corner if you want to watch that full review and video, but this is a great foundation. Another foundation that I recently spoke about in my Credo Beauty recommendations, I will link that if you're interested, is the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation Stick. Now, this is a pricier item. Westman Atelier is a luxury brand, so if you're going to pick it up, Sephora sale is the time to do it. The stick foundation, this one I would say is pretty full coverage. The Fenty one is more of like a skin tint, so I would say it's like a light to medium coverage, whereas this, I would say it's medium to full. So if you're looking for a stick foundation that is on the fuller side and still wears well on dry skin, I recommend checking out the Westman Atelier ones. And I kind of am in between shades. That's the one thing for me about Westman Atelier and the foundation. I'm kind of in between shades. So I wear shade Atelier 0.5 and then Atelier 1 in the summer. So keep that in mind. Another new foundation from this year that blew me away, or this entire brand blew me away, is the Ciel Tint and Protect SPF 50 Tinted Serum. I'll link my video that I did on this brand, but wow. Like, wow, wow, wow. This foundation is a serum-y, amazing, like hydrating, but super, super pigmented, full coverage tinted serum. It's more of a foundation than a tinted serum. I feel like when people hear tinted serum, they think skin tint. No, this is a full-blown foundation. It is so comfortable, so flattering on dry skin, and everything from this brand is going to be included in this video because I'm in love. The last foundation I'm talking about is the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Tinted Sunscreen. I adore this product. I also talked about it in my Credo video, so I won't spend too much time on it, but amazing, very full coverage for being a tinted sunscreen. Love the packaging, how it comes out in a squeezy tube. I am shade 10 Larchmont. I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This is another favorite from this year as far as new complexion products go. I am shade 2, and much like the other ones I've talked about, this is a really comfortable, really pigmented skin tint. I would say it differs from the Tower 28 one in that there's no SPF, but it's also very glowy. It's very glowy and dewy, and you get that dewy, glowy finish that lasts throughout the day. Whereas the Tower 28 one does not have that glow. So keep that in mind if you're deciding between the two. I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about this foundation. This is another one that I always recommend, and it is so underrated. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Skin Tint, Always On Radiant Skin Tint. But this foundation, or this skin tint, is beautiful. It blurs imperfections. It has just the right amount of coverage. It's great for dry skin. The shades are also pretty flexible in this product, I did want to mention, because it is like a thinner consistency. But yeah, this one is another great one that I highly recommend checking out and picking up during the sale. Let's talk concealers. I have fallen in love with the Tower 28 One Swipe Concealer. It's super thin. It doesn't emphasize my fine lines. It's a beautiful formula, and I have fallen in love with it. I am shade BU. I don't know if that's supposed to be boo or what. Oh, I applied way too much. I don't know what I was doing. And to blend this in, I'm going to use another product recommendation, and that is the Sephora Collection Pro Concealer Brush 71. Now, all Sephora collection will be 30% off during the sale, even for people who are not like VIB Rouge members. Their brushes are fantastic. I'm going to be talking about a brush set later on that I recommend, but every brush I have tried from their Pro line, I have been very, very impressed with, and I highly recommend checking them out, especially this brush. It just blends really beautifully. It has kind of that cat paw type of angling, which makes it perfect for really getting into the eye area to blend out your concealer. Another concealer I love, but I don't have it in front of me. I don't know where it is right now, but it is the Givenchy Prism Libra Glow concealer. I believe that's the name. I'll put it on the screen and have it linked below. It is so glowy. It is so flattering on the under eye area, but my favorite thing about it is you can really use it all over the face. There are some days where I don't feel the need to do like a full face of foundation, but I can just kind of swipe that on my face, blend it out, and it gives me like just enough coverage to look a little bit awake. And it's a great multi-use product in that sense. Let's talk about powders. I have a lot of powders, but if I'm being honest, I don't use powder very often because I am so dry. I don't feel the need to, but the two powders I'm going to recommend. The first one is the Kosas Air Cloud powder. Absolutely love, love, love this powder. I have both the lightest shade and then the second to lightest shade. The lightest shade is great for me in the winter months, but it's too light in the summer. So that's why I have both shades. It is really blurring on the pores. It's not overly pigmented. It's just the right amount of pigmented, super flattering, especially on the under eye area. And I also just like love the packaging. Another powder that I have fallen head over heels with is from CL, and this is their Filter and Protect SPF 30 powder. I am in the shade 1. I love the little puff that it comes with because it has like a little point at the end. So it's perfect for getting in the crevices of the under eye. This powder is extremely pigmented as well. So this is one that is great if you want a more pigmented powder that not only is going to like blur imperfections, but also further conceal your skin. This one is fantastic for that. Let's talk bronzers. I honestly do not have like a powder bronzer to talk about because I feel like I only really use cream bronzer. At least that's what I've been using for this past year and what I always reach for. I do love the Marc Jacobs bronzer, but they don't make that anymore. The brand is coming back in like 2025 or something. But anyways, so we are going to be talking all about cream, contour, and bronzers. So the bronzer that I am just so in love with, and this is going to look different than what it actually looks like now, and I'll explain why. It is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzing Stick in the shade Baked. Now, Milk Makeup did something really annoying this past year. They shrunk this down to this size and kept it the same price, which is criminal and an abomination. I don't want to get into it right now because I'll just rant for a while, but I do want to acknowledge that it is now this size and the same price. But that being said, I love the formula so much that when I'm done with my giant one, I will cave and be a fool and purchase their microscopic size bronzer for ants. But this is one that I absolutely love. It is, again, it's a cream bronzer, but it's matte still somehow. So I just like to kind of, I don't know, trace those areas of my face and then blend out with my beauty sponge or a brush. And that bronzer just like livens up my face. It's a really good tone for me. Another bronzer that I love, but I like previously spoke a lot of crap about, but has really grown on me and I keep using it, is the Merit Bronze Balm in the shade Clay. I did a whole video on Merit that I'll link where I tried like almost every product and talked about like which ones are worth it, which ones are not. And this one, it's so weird because again, it doesn't last a super long time, but for like that 2 hours that it lasts, it is absolutely stunning. So you make the decision for yourself if you want to purchase a product that only lasts 2 hours, but if you're like me and you work from home and you're like, hey, I don't really care, like I just want to look good for the first 2 hours of Zoom meetings, then this product I recommend. It's super flattering. I really love the tone of it as well. This is the shade Clay. And yeah, it's a product I have a weird relationship with, but I'm gonna recommend it. I'm gonna include it in the sale because it's not super expensive, plus with the 20% off, it might be worth it to look really nice for 2 hours of the day. First contour I'm going to talk about is this microscopic contour for ants from Milk Makeup. It is the it is the Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. And even though you get like no product for the price, I love the undertone of this so much that I think it's worth it. So keep that in mind, that you're not getting a ton of product, but it is an amazing undertone for fair skin. It is a gray undertone, which is what you want so that it actually looks like a shadow, which is what contour is. So this one I recommend, even though it's a ripoff. I have to be honest, I'm going to recommend it. The other contour is the Westman Atelier contour in the shade Biscuit. Now, this one doesn't have as much of a gray undertone, but it still is a really nice contour that works well for my skin. I'm going to go ahead and apply this one right now so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Hi, Eva from the future coming in because there was a set that just dropped this morning that I want to talk about, and then a set that I forgot to talk about yesterday. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is the Westman Atelier set. There's this great set for $75 and you get 3 of their cream products. So you get that contour that I love, you get the blush that I love, and then their cream highlighter, which I also really love. I didn't include it in this video. So if you're interested in the contour or the blush, I highly recommend picking this one up because you're going to be able to try 3 products for a little over the price of one, or rather the price of 2. Let's talk eyes. So the eye primer that I always use, I just put it on and now I don't know where I like threw it, but it is, oh, here we go. It is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, specifically in the anti-aging formula. But I will say this always goes on sale during Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. So I like would hold off on purchasing it during the Sephora sale because you'll definitely save way more money. But if you're like, I need an eye primer now and I want one during the Sephora sale, this would be my recommendation. Let's talk eyeshadow. Ooh, I really had to narrow this down. Like this and then the blush category, well, also the lip categories. They were all equally hard for me. But eyeshadow palettes, I have been like a collector, hoarder of eyeshadow palettes for like honestly like 13 years now. It is a category where whenever there's a new release, I jump at it and I get excited to test it. So I'm just sharing the ones that I'm like, ooh, if I could only recommend a few eyeshadow palettes, these are the ones I would recommend. And the first one is one I have been recommending ever since it came out, but it always goes out of stock. So if it is in stock when you are shopping the sale, you have got to pick it up. And it is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. There is something about the Makeup by Mario matte formula that is so magical. They blend incredibly. They don't like, when you swatch them, you're not going to be like, oh, whoa, these are incredible. But it's not about the swatches, it's about how the product wears on your eyes and how it blends out. These blend absolutely beautifully. This is a perfect palette for beginners, for advanced makeup artists, for anyone. An eyeshadow palette launch from this past year that chef's kiss, just all around obsessed with. The YSL Mini Clutch Couture palettes. Like, let's talk about these for a minute. First of all, the packaging. The packaging. It is pleather on the front. It is luxe packaging. And these are $68. Which, yes, there are only 4 shades, but for a luxury brand to have this beautiful packaging and be under $90. I mean, the Tom Ford ones are $90 now. And the packaging is nothing to write home about. But what really matters is the formula. So these palettes come with mattes, shimmers, and then almost like a glittery shade. I have several of these in different shades, but the two, maybe like my top 2 I'd recommend if you love neutrals would be number 100, which is this cool toned neutral palette, and then number 300. Which I don't remember the exact names of these, but I will have like the names written out below, which is a really nice warm tone. Oh, but then there are such beautiful pink tones, purple tones. They're also releasing a really beautiful one for the holidays that is going to be silver and gold, but it is not out yet. Another palette that is new this year that I highly recommend is the Natasha I Need a Nude palette. You've probably seen tons of reviews of this palette all over the internet, and it is, let me tell you, it is worth the hype. It really is. The shades are so beautiful. Those sparkly shades are so stunning. I'm actually going to apply one right now, but you have a nice mixture of cool tones and then a few warm tones, but overall this is, I would say, a neutral to cool toned eyeshadow palette as opposed to all the warm palettes we've been seeing over the years. Something else to mention about Natasha Denona palettes, which people don't always realize, but it's an added feature that I think is really cool, is you can pop out any of the individual shades. So there are these little holes in the back. You can just take like a bobby pin, pop them out, and if you have other Natasha Denona palettes, you can kind of like rearrange them to make your own version of a dream palette. Or if you're traveling and you don't want to bring the entire compact with you, you can pop out a few shades and put them in like a magnetic Z palette, for example. I'm going to right now apply the shade Mia all over the lid. And I'm going to show you, it just has such a pretty fine glitter and shimmer that just wears beautifully on the eyes. So this is a palette that I highly recommend picking up during the sale. You will not regret it. Another eyeshadow palette that I recommend picking up is the Urban Decay Moondust Space Rider palette. Now, I did a video on these. I will link it above. I purchased both of the variations. Ulta has both of them, but Sephora only has the Space Rider one. So that's the one I'm going to talk about. For more extensive discussion about it, watch my video, but it is a beautiful all shimmer palette. You have a mixture of what I would say are more topper shades and then really pretty one and done shades. Again, watch the video to see them all swatched. And then individual shadows. I touched on these in that same video, but some individual shadows that I'd recommend checking out during the sale. The first one is that same formula from Urban Decay. If you don't want to pick up a $39 palette for 4, you can always pick up the individual shades. This is the shade Lithium, and these are just so pretty, so shimmery, so sparkly. I will say that last Black Friday, I believe, these were on sale for like 50% off the Urban Decay website. Now that was before they went viral, so I don't know if they're gonna do a sale like that again, but sometimes these do go on sale. So this could be an item that's worth waiting for and purchasing outside of the Sephora sale. And then another single shadow formula I want to touch on are the Sephora Collection Colorful Glitter Eyeshadows. Now, there are multiple formulas of the Sephora Collection shadows. The ones I particularly like are the glitter formula. I found out about these through Amanda Z here on YouTube, and these will be 30% off during the sale. This is the shade Choco Excess, and this formula reminds me a lot of the Urban Decay Moondust ones. The Urban Decay Moondust ones are more shimmery, but if you're looking for a really pretty shimmery eyeshadow for, you know, under 15 bucks, this one is just beautiful. That glitter formula is great. Let's touch on eyeliner. So I have like a couple formulas to mention. The first being, I don't know if it's in front of me. It might not be in front of me, but the Sephora Collection eyeliners. They have a couple different formulas. Both of those formulas are excellent. Excellent. They remind me a lot of the Marc Jacobs eyeliners. Rest in peace to that brand. Yes, it is getting revived, but in the meantime, the gel eyeliners from Sephora Collection are great replacements. And even when the Marc Jacobs ones come back from the dead, I think I'll still continue purchasing the Sephora Collection ones because they're a great formula and a great price. Another eyeshadow formula, I don't want to have to go dig for it, but one that is just tried and true, and I feel like some people forgot about, but it is the Urban Decay Slide and Glide eyeliners. These are so good. And there is a great holiday set. I will put a photo above and have it linked below that comes with 3 different shades of the eyeliners. It comes with one of my all-time favorite shades, Whiskey, and then 2 other shades. I think if you're in the market for eyeliners, this is a great set to pick up, especially after the 20% off. Another product that I wanted to mention, it's an eyeliner slash lip liner, but I'll just mention it right now, is an incredible set from Makeup Forever. We'll insert it on the screen, and it is a bundle of a bunch of miniature versions of their artist pencils. Now, if you're not familiar, their artist pencils from Makeup Forever are a multi-use pencil. So you can use them on the lips. Obviously, I'm not going to use this shade on my lips. But they also are great for the eyes. So that set has a lot of amazing staple colors that are great for the eyes, and then some of those taupey shades that are great for like a 90s lip. So highly recommend that set. I will be picking that up during the Sephora sale for sure. Let's touch on brows. My favorite brow product at Sephora is the Anastasia, I think it's like the Brow Mousse. I will go ahead and link it down below, but if I'm being honest, I would not recommend picking up Anastasia products during the Sephora sale because they are always going on sale for 50% off during 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta, or in general on their own site, they have really good Black Friday deals. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about those, but I will go ahead and link that down below if you are dying to get a brow product during the Sephora sale. But two that I do want to talk about that are a good deal to pick up during the Sephora sale. The first one is the Glossier Boy Brow. I have been using Boy Brow from Glossier since Glossier was a company and was founded, whatever year that was. I love it. It's a great everyday brow product. It's going to add just a little bit of tint and volume. If you like something that's really precise, this is not going to be for you, but if you want just an easy everyday brow, the Boy Brow is great. I like to use two different shades. I kind of vacillate based on like what tone my highlights are at the time, but I use blonde and then brown. Those are the two shades that I use. Another brow product that I have fallen in love with this past year, I think it's on the newer side. It is the Sephora Collection Tint and Volume Brow Gel. This will be 30% off during the sale, and I wear the shade Taupe. And the shades of these, I'm pretty sure, are nearly identical to the shades that are offered by Anastasia. So if you know your shade from Anastasia, this is going to be very, very similar, if not identical. And this is similar to Boy Brow in that it provides just a little bit of a tint and a little bit of volume. You can notice here, way more volume than this eyebrow here. Those are the brows. I mean, so easy. Love this. I will be restocking this during the sale for sure. Let's touch on mascaras. I have just a couple to talk about. The first being the Tower 28 one. This one is worth the hype. I will apply it now just so you can see. It is a drier mascara, which makes it really easy for on-the-go application. People who have sensitive eyes say that this is like the one mascara that doesn't bother their eyes. I don't have sensitive eyes, but I do really, really love it. It's just a really good mascara that separates and builds the lash. You can see just how much my eye opened up with that quick application. Another mascara that I want to mention actually comes in the set that I'm going to put on the screen. And it is the Lancome, I think, Idol mascara. I use it all the time, but I don't know where I put it. But that set is really nice because it includes a bunch of miniatures, and I really like miniatures for mascaras because mascaras do dry out and go bad quite quickly. And if you're like me and you like to use different mascaras and kind of play around with different formulas, you typically aren't going to get through an entire tube within that expiration period or before it dries up. So I like sets like this because not only is it a great way to try formulas that are new to me, but also a great way for me to like stock up on minis of formulas that I love. Let's talk about face palettes. I have two different face palettes that are limited edition this holiday season that I highly recommend. The first one is the Hourglass palette, or rather the Hourglass palettes, because there are 3 versions. I will insert my video that I did. I did try essentially all 3 because one of the palettes I owned all but one shade. And these palettes are very expensive, but if you have been wanting to try the Hourglass formula and you don't have a lot of shades, I think they are worth it. Not only are the formulas beautiful, they are really travel friendly. I have 2. I have the Snake palette, which for me is a little dark, but I love wearing it on the eyes and it still works on me. And then I also have the Jellyfish one. Again, watch my video. I go in depth, but I do recommend these. I do think they're worth the price after the 20% off. Another limited edition palette that I have been loving is the NARS All That Glitters Blush Palette. I, for the life of me, cannot find mine. I had it ready to go this morning to talk about, and I put it somewhere. If I end up finding it, I will insert arm swatches here, but if not, I'm sorry. But the palette I will put up on the screen. I love the NARS palettes. The NARS Cheeks palettes and the Hourglass palettes are products I buy every year. I just love collecting them. And this particular NARS one, I really liked the tones in it. All of the blushes are that like baked gelée, I think that's how you say it, formula. They're really, really beautiful to build up on the cheeks. They're not overwhelming, even though some of the colors you may be scared because they are darker. If you apply it with a gentle hand, they really work on light skin tones, and then you can build them up for deeper skin tones. So that one I really recommend. I really am so glad I picked that one up. Now let's move into the blush category. Blush is my favorite makeup category, and I have so many to discuss. It was really hard for me to narrow them down. I did eliminate some, but I still have a lot to go through. First, I want to talk about the Haus Labs blushes. That was actually my first video here on YouTube a few months ago. I will have that linked up here. I had, I think, 2 or 3 shades that I tested. This is a newer shade. This is their lavender shade of the blush, but these are so beautiful. They're buildable. They're silky. They come in a lot of different shades. I do wish they would come out with some more like tawny shades, almost like neutral shades, but these are great. The packaging's really nice. I highly recommend picking at least one of these up during the sale. Next up, we have a brand that I think is so underappreciated, and it is the brand Lys. I don't know if it's Lys or Lys, but they make a beautiful satin matte blush formula. So these are cream blushes, but they dry down to a really pretty matte. So these are great if you want a cream cheek without the dewiness. And they have a great set this year, inserting here. I think it's 1 repeat shade and 2 new ones. So I would recommend picking that up because for me, I've tried I think almost every shade, and the formula has been very consistent, and it's a great way to test out a few different shades for a really reasonable price. Another blush formula that I love is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blush. I have a bunch of these and I really love them. There is a limited edition set that I will put up here where you get a limited edition shade, which is a bright pink shade of this product, and then a miniature of the Yummy Skin like primer that they have. But if hot pink is not for you, then I would still recommend picking up another shade. These are really, really beautiful. They're super flattering. They're really easy to blend out. And these are ones that are great to apply with your finger. That's actually how I believe they're intended to be applied. So you kind of just like warm it up in the pan and then apply it. This is the shade Rose in Brunch. Similar to the LYS blushes, these have more of a matte finish. I would say they're a little dewier than the LYS ones, but they're not going to leave your cheeks like super wet and dewy like some other cream blushes do. So I definitely recommend these guys. A liquid blush that I recommend is the NARS Afterglow Liquid Blush. We'll insert, I did a video where I swatched every single shade. I love this formula. It is such an easy formula. I think the shades are so beautiful. Let me swatch. This is the shade Behave, but I do swatch all of them in that video. And there is a really great set I'm going to insert here where you get, I believe, 3 different shades. And I know some people don't like minis and don't like sets, but I love the holiday sets because it's such a great way to try multiple shades of a product or multiple product for a lower price point, or even if it ends up being like value-wise, not necessarily saving you money, you are still going to be able to try 3 different shades for cheaper than you would if you purchased the full-size ones. So highly recommend these guys. Moving along to another liquid blush, and this is the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer Blush. These launched, I want to say like towards the end of last year, and I really love these. These are more of like a moussier formula compared to the NARS ones are more liquidy, but they're super flattering. They have a lot of really great shades and they're very easy to blend out. This is the shade Corsica, and there's a great little set of 3 little minis that I fully recommend and endorse. We'll insert that up here as a great way to try out this formula in several shades. Another formula that was new this year that I fell in love with is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil. I will insert my video where I swatched almost every shade. I have all but one. I may pick up that final one during the sale, but this is a really, really pretty, like, it's an interesting, it's like a balmy blush. It's a balmy blush is how I would describe it, but it has more of a dewy finish than the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin does. But it's really flattering, super easy to apply, very quick. I just go in with like my BK Beauty brush, tap, 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 and then I'm done. So if you're in the market for a cream blush, check this one out. Another blush formula that I highly recommend you pick up during the sale because it is so beautiful, the packaging is so luxe, and it's so expensive, is the Gucci blushes. I love the Gucci blushes. I just grabbed one from my drawer. This is True Pink, but they are just so silky, smooth, and pretty. They're just a great, good old-fashioned powder blush. And they have a lot of really great colors, and the packaging is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. If you're gonna pick up one blush for my recommendations, definitely pick up the Gucci one because it's just so luxe and pretty on your vanity, and it feels like you're giving yourself a present. Another powder blush that I'm going to recommend is the Giorgio Armani powder blushes. These came out this past spring. These are the, I think, just the Luminous Silk Glow blushes, and there's an amazing set I will insert on the screen here where you get two really popular shades for, I want to say, like $60. So you are saving around, like, I want to say maybe like $10 already, and then the 20% on top of that. I recommend checking that out. I have two shades. I have shade 11, which is like a peachy shade. It's like a burnt peach. And then I also have shade 61, which is a deeper berry. I meant to purchase shade 51, but I grabbed the wrong one. But 51 is in that bundle. So I'm going to be picking up that bundle because I do not have those shades, and this is a great formula. Sorry, we have more blush. Now this is one of my favorite cream blushes of all time. Like, I would say it's probably top 3, and it is the Rose Ink Lip and Cheek color. These are amazing. Not only are they super, super pigmented, but they are one of the only multi-use products that I feel like actually is multi-use. Like, when you apply this to your lips, obviously this color does not look flattering on me, but when you apply these to the lips, they actually have enough pigmentation, I feel like, to mimic a lipstick. So many of these like multi-use cheek and lip stains, I find the lip products fall so short, but this is the first one where I feel like, wow, on the lips, it does wear like a lipstick, and it really is multi-use. There is a great set that I am going to insert on the screen where you get one of the blushes, and then you also get one of their lipsticks, and their lipsticks are a great formula. If you're just interested in picking up like an individual item from Rose Ink and not the set, I would wait because they do fantastic sales on their site. They often do 30 to 40% off, I think, for Black Friday. So if you're just thinking of picking up a couple things that aren't in the set, I would hold off. But if you're interested in the set, their sales sometimes exclude sets. So now might be the time for the set. Another brand that I'm going to talk about again is Westman Atelier. I love the Westman Atelier products, and I love their blushes. They are very luxe, they're very bougie, and so now is the time to pick them up. They're just a great blush, and they are the height of luxury, so now is the time to get that 20% off. The last powder blush formula I'm going to talk about is the Benefit powder blush formula. They relaunched their box blushes where they got rid of that stupid brush that came with it, and they came out with a bunch of new shades. Now this is the shade Shelly, but I have so many favorites from this lineup. But instead of purchasing one of these, you should purchase this. So this is a palette that comes with a blush, a bronzer, and then the highlight. This highlight is so good. I know Alex Earl made it go viral, but I have loved this highlight for a very long time. And this is their cookie highlight. And then they have a second one that I think is called like Twinkle. But ooh, it is such a bright highlight. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very flattering. So I would recommend picking up one of the palettes here. So you're getting a blush, a highlighter, and then they're very famous and really good bronzer. The last blush I'm going to recommend are the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. These are just so good. They are totally worth the hype, 100% worth the hype. And Rare Beauty, the max they do on their site is 20% off, so you might as well get Rare Beauty during the Sephora sale. This is the shade Bliss, but I have tons of shades. I absolutely love this formula. There is a great little set that I'd recommend picking up where you get a miniature of the blush and then 2 of the liquid highlighters, which are great. And these blushes are so pigmented that you only need the tiniest drop. So that set will last you forever. And then they also recently launched a miniature size of one of these shades, which I will have linked below as well, because I think it makes sense to just pick up the miniatures because I mean, these last forever because you need the tiniest amount. Let's talk highlighter. So we did just mention the Great Benefit highlighter that you can get in the palette, but the only highlighter that's really stood out to me this past year, like as I was thinking about what have I been using, what have I been loving, it's Rare Beauty. These Rare Beauty highlighters are amazing. I have 2. I have the shade Enlighten and I have the shade Exhilarate. I honestly might get a couple more because these are also beautiful on the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and apply Enlighten right now so you can see just how metallic and beautiful these are. I'm going in with a Real Techniques fan brush. I mean, that glow. For these, I recommend using a fan brush and a light hand because a little goes a long way for these. So pretty. Love these, love these. And they also like look like Polly Pockets and they feel like Polly Pockets. So that's an added bonus. Let's talk lips. Oh my God, I have so many lip products to talk about. A lip liner that I have fallen in love with this past year and that I highly recommend is the Tower 28. These are called the multi-liner, one-liner. They claim to be an eyeliner and a lip liner. I find they do not wear on the eyes. They pretty much like disappear. But on the lips, these are beautiful. They only have 3 shades and I hope they come out with more. Right now, I'm applying the shade Work of Art and this is a great nude shade. For me, it does a good job of just slightly defining the lips and these are really creamy and love them. I have a lot of other lip liners I like, but I really, I had to narrow down how much time I was going to spend talking during this video. And I really wanted to prioritize other categories of lip products. So let's get into the rest of the lip recommendations. I'm going through my little bin I put together. The first one would be the Summer Friday Butter Bombs. These are worth the hype. They are extremely pigmented, they're extremely nourishing, and they have 2 different sets this year. They have this little mini set, which I think is so cute, and then there also is a trio set where you get 3 full size. I recommend picking up either of those. You can't go wrong. I would say probably pick up the little miniature one if you're new to the formula. That way you can try a bunch of different colors. A lip product that not enough people talk about that is so good is the Rare Beauty liquid balms. Now these are not their lip oils. I use air quotes because I'll insert the video. They're not really lip oils, but they make a beautiful, I think it's called their liquid balm. And these are super pigmented, but so nourishing and comfortable. This is the shade Nearly Neutral. And I believe there is a set with these. If so, I'll insert it on the screen and link it down below. But even without the set, these are so worth it. They're so beautiful. They are so underrated. These should be viral. These should be viral. And I think after the discount, they're under 20 bucks. Moving into a bougier brand, I picked these up last year. I think Becca Sun here on YouTube, who I love her videos, had recommended these, and they are worth it. They are the Gucci, oh, what are these called? They're basically the Gucci liquid lipsticks, but they are super comfortable. They are very thin in formula. They kind of remind me of like a K-beauty product. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they're very airy and thin, but are still pigmented. So I have two shades swatched here. On the right, we have the shade They Met in Argentina, and then this shade here is Grace Cinnamon. So if you're in the market for a liquid lipstick that isn't drying and is still flattering and not like overly pigmented, I feel like sometimes liquid lipsticks are kind of scary to apply. Because if they're too pigmented and they dry down too quickly and you mess up, it's a no-go. But these are a great one, and if you're looking to treat yourself to a luxury lip product, I recommend those. Speaking of luxury, the YSL Rouge Volupté Shine lipsticks. Now, I do want to let you in on a secret. They do such a good Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale where it's typically buy one lip product, get one free. So I do want to mention that and say you should exercise caution when purchasing YSL lip products during the Sephora sale. You should use restraint and wait just a month so you can do the BOGO purchase. But if you can't resist, these are amazing, and there is a set that I'm going to recommend. I'll insert it here. It has two really pretty colors. I think one is like nude lavender, which is the shade I have, and then one other color, but I believe it's $50. So you should do the math, but I would say don't buy just one during the Sephora sale. Wait a month and then you can buy one, get one free, or get this set. Another luxury lip product that, oh, it's so good. These are the Givenchy, what are these called? Liquid balms? When I first saw these, I was like, are these gonna be gimmicky? Anytime there's like a swirl of something, I'm like, I don't know. These are so pretty. They're a super pigmented liquid balm, and the packaging is so luxe. You get the leather, you get the swirl, you get the logo, and these are a fun luxury product to pick up during the sale. Sorry if I'm rushing, but it's because I'm rushing. Otherwise this video is going to be 4 hours long. My last luxury lip product recommendation, it's going to be the Dior lip glosses. I picked up a bunch of these during the sale last year because I was influenced, I don't remember by who, but the lip glosses are so worth it. They're so pigmented. Let me swatch one on my hand right now. I should probably eventually do a swatch video now that I own a bunch of them, because swatch videos like that are helpful during the Sephora sale. This is the shade 37. I don't know what the name is, but it's shade 37, and it's a really, really pretty like brick rose. And these are, I should have mentioned, the Dior Lip Addict Lip Maximizer. Let's talk Makeup by Mario again. Makeup by Mario makes these incredible, they're called the Moisture Glow, like, what are they called? The Moisture Glow Lip Plumping Lip Serums. This one happens to be like a nude one, so it's not super pigmented, but some of them are quite pigmented. They're so flattering. They make your lips look so juicy and healthy, and they have the cutest sets this year. So they have multiple sets where you get two little minis of these. I'll insert one here, but if you've never tried this formula, I'd recommend picking those up. If any of those are shades that I don't own, I'm definitely be picking them up because this formula, it's very flattering, it's worth the hype, and the little minis are so cute. This next product, it's not available in the set, but the product is so good, it's worth it to still pick up. And these are the Lawless, what are these called? They're basic, I don't remember the exact name, but they're like the Lawless Plumping like lip balms. So Lawless is famous for their plumping lip gloss, which I'll get to in a little bit. And they came out with some balms this past spring that have a little bit of that tingle, but then they have a really slight tint. I really like these. I do feel like these fill up my lip lines a little bit, and they're very flattering. The two shades I have are Georgie which is this shade here, and then Posy, which is this pink shade here. Let's talk lip oils. So I have a couple lip oil recommendations. I love lip oils. There are so many that I love, but these are two that are amazing and they come in great sets. The first is the Kosas Wet Lip Oil. I love these, and there is a great set where you get one of these, then you also get the new Kosas like high shine lipsticks. I love that formula. I don't know where mine is, somewhere in this pile, but I love that formula, so that's a great set. One of my favorite lip oil formulas like of all time are the In Beauty lip glazes. These are amazing. They have so many different colors. I would say they're just as good as the Dior ones, and oh, they smell so good. This is the shade Lip Glaze number 1. This is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lip oil that actually has some grip to it, so it's gonna stick on your lips. And they have such good sets. They have a really big one this year that I want to pick up. I'll insert here, where you get a bunch of different shades, and they also have a little duo as well, which I'll have linked below. But this lip oil, do not sleep on it. Do not sleep on this formula. It's amazing and it's affordable. That's it for the lip oils. There is another gloss I want to mention, and I alluded to it earlier, and it is the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Gloss. These are hyped for a reason. They are very flattering on the lips. There is a little bit of plumping, but nothing super noticeable. It's not going to be painful. They have a great set of minis. I will insert on the screen here, and it's a great way to try the formula and get new colors because I believe they're limited edition shades. But and the applicator I also love. It kind of like scoops down almost and really hugs your lips when applying. But this is one of the best glosses on the market. Let's talk about Tarte real fast. The Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips are amazing. Like, they are viral for a reason. And they have a great set where you get several different shades and finishes, because they now have like the Maracuja Juicy Lip lipstick and the plumping one, a bunch of different formulas. I've tried all the formulas. I really like all the formulas. I'll insert my video where I talk about the formula differences here. But this set is great. I will say, however, I avoid talking about Tarte during the Sephora sale because Tarte always has such good Black Friday sales. Like, we're talking 40% off site-wide, 50% off site-wide. So I would encourage you to wait to make your Tarte purchases, but if you can't help yourself, then pick up one of these sets, because this lip formula, it's glossy, it's flattering, it's viral for a reason. My last two lip formulas I'm going to talk about are from Sephora collection, and they are the, what are these called? The satin lipsticks. These came out last year. Just super, super pigmented, beautiful satin lipsticks. The packaging is also elevated as well, in my opinion. And then this other formula I've loved for a couple of years now. These are called, honestly, I don't know what the name is. I will have it linked down below. But these are kind of like their take on the YSL lipsticks that I mentioned earlier. They're super glossy. They're very glowy, they're very flattering, and they come in a bunch of different shades. And again, they're going to be 30% off. So I really, really recommend you check these out, especially if you're interested in that YSL formula, but you don't want to spend the money. I'm not going to say these are a dupe, but these are very, very similar in formula. I've been filming for so long that my battery completely died. So we're switching over to the iPhone. Now we're at the part of the video where I'm talking about kind of the miscellaneous categories and the items that don't fit into the larger categories. The first being the Sephora Pro Collection brushes. I know I touched on them throughout the video, but want to remind you that these are amazing brushes. They're great quality. I will list down my favorites down below in the description, but they also have a really great set this year. It's probably going to sell out. Their version of this set last year sold out right away, but it has a lot of the great brushes. You're already getting a discount, and then you're getting the 30% off on top of that. Another product that I think is so worth the hype and is one that I truly cannot live without, and it is the Dyson Airwrap. If you're gonna get the Dyson Airwrap or any Dyson products, now is the time of year to get them. It's so hard to get them for 20% off. This is really the only time of the year when you can take advantage of a sale like that. The Dyson Airwrap has saved me. As someone who has curtain bangs and very flat hair, if I don't have the Dyson Airwrap, my bangs, I look like a wet rat. I use the Dyson Airwrap every single day. It takes me 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do my bangs, to put a little bit of body in my hair, and it is worth every cent. I have not tried any of like the dupes on the market, like the Shark. I think the Shark brand makes one now, so I can't attest to that. I can only speak to the Dyson Airwrap, and I am so glad I bought it last year. I have never looked back. If you buy one thing from this video, I think you should buy the next thing I'm going to talk about, and it is the Sephora perfume favorite set. I believe that's what it's called. I'll put it up here on the screen. I will be purchasing this year's during the sale, but this is such a good deal. I don't know if people fully understand. I buy these every year. What you get is you get a bunch of perfume samples, and then you get a certificate inside that you can redeem online or in store for a full size of that fragrance. The majority of these fragrances retail for around $130. The set is, I believe, $85, and then you get 20% off on top of that. So you're getting a perfume at roughly 50% off. These sometimes have bad reviews on Sephora because I don't think people are paying attention to what they're getting, and they're not paying attention to the certificate that comes with the product. So my top recommendation from a value perspective is definitely going to be one of those perfume sampler sets, and I also think they make such a good gift. The last product I want to mention is another product I can't live without. It is the Living Proof Dry Shampoo. They recently came out with like an advanced dry shampoo formula that came out, I want to say maybe last year, and they have a great set this year. I'll post up here. That includes the original formula and the new one. I cannot use any other dry shampoo. I know that sounds dramatic, but no dry shampoo works for me the way that the Living Proof Dry Shampoo works for me. That wraps up this extremely long video. I don't even know how long this is going to be by the time I edit it. I feel like I've been filming for probably 3 hours now throughout different parts of the day. But if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it. I hope these recommendations were helpful. If you are not already, I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And then if you consider shopping my links down below, that's a great way to support my channel, and I really appreciate it. I would also love to hear from you what you're picking up from the sale. If there are any products that I didn't include that you're like, Eva, you need to try those, leave them in the comments below. I would love to add to my list and know what you're going to be picking up.